You know, I was thinking about, you know, I was talking about Final Destination Bloodlines, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. You know, that I really enjoyed it. Uh, I remember the first time I watched Final Destination. Remember seeing the previews of the first one, and I was much younger then. My kids was little, and I just landed a good job, and things were starting to pick up for me, but it was still a long way to recovery for all the dumb stuff I did. But I remember when I got around to watching Final Destination, I think I got it at a maybe at a at a family video or somehow I ended up watching it, and I fell in love with that Final Destination. And it made $51 million at the box office. Now, I already talked about Final Destination, but one I like to see make a comeback, and I know it'd probably hard to do, would be somebody could bring back Friday the 13th. I mean, something just that will blow your mind. I mean, somebody would come up with just a freaking, just blow us away. You know what I mean? Other than that, I wouldn't want anybody to touch Friday the 13th, because you gotta understand, Friday the 13th came out when I was a younger person. It came out when I was in my youth. We're talking like I graduated in 1978, so Friday the 13th came out around, I think, late 70s or early 80s, and just kept going and going. And, like I said, I got this box set right here. And now my favorite ones are, I got Jason X, and that one where Jason is in space. I didn't care for that one, but I got all of them. I got the whole box set of Friday the 13th. And the only reason why I'm making this video, because I was just thinking about how, I was like, man, I love that Final Destination, and, I love Scream, and I love, Scream came out like when I was in my 30s. So I have a great nostalgia with that one too, because me being 66, I watched that movie when it first came out. I fell in love with that first Scream. And I think that's why Scream and The Conjuring is a newer kind of like thing. Now I remember watching The Conjuring, the first one, and it freaked me out. I was like, dang, this is good. So then after that, I started going to the theater to go watch them. And then I seen the rest of them, and I thought they all was good. Of course, my favorite one is the first one, but the best one to me is the second one. And the best one, the one that's the scariest to me, is the second one. Now, they tried to revive this Nightmare on Elm Street. I got this this really nice box set. And I don't know, man. I was just thinking, I just happened to be thinking about these two movies, man. And, you tried the Halloween thing. The Halloween thing, actually, they tried that already, and they made this little run. I like that to be put to rest for a little bit. But I like to see somebody take a nab at this again, just a jab. Somebody that's just something, and with this as well. Because, you gotta understand, all this came out when I was, young too. And it's the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And I remember my daughter was born in 90. So I think I watched this 1989. I can't remember. I'm not even going to look up when this came out, but I remember I started watching it, and I decided to go with my girlfriend's house. And she said, I thought you said you wasn't coming over tonight. She said you was going to come over tomorrow. So I changed my mind. I started watching that movie all by my own self, and I was much younger. It kind of freaked me out, so I didn't want to go to bed by myself. So I went over to my girlfriend's house, which is my daughter's mom, and I fell asleep with her, but because she never knew. I was like, I just decided to come over, but I was sitting there watching that, but then you're watching now, it just was different. But anyway, I just. My love for this is awesome. Of course, I got the hat on, and my love for this is awesome. You gotta understand, this was back in my time, like right when I got out of high school. So those young people, which was me, which are getting old now. This was our time, and Nightmare on Elm Street came out like graduated in 78, so I'm thinking Nightmare on Elm Street must have came out in 1988 or 89 or something like that. Then they made a whole bunch of them. I'm not sure when this actually came out, but man, I was just thinking about that. So I also was thinking about, like, how much I like the Conjuring universe. I'm jacked up for that. And no, I don't think Scream 7 is not going. I don't think it'll do bad at all. I think it'll do good. I think that they keep the budgets. Here's what I'd do if I was them. Of course, Jenny Ortega's not coming out, it's coming back, and then the other chick's not coming back because I guess she said something that had to do something with some political stuff. But anyway, I just got Nev Campbell coming back. Now, I heard somebody said Nev Campbell got some kind of, I guess that's... Here's the thing about movie stars. I really... most of the time, I don't pay attention to, like, social media stuff, what the movie stars are doing, so I just usually try to focus on the movie star and what they're making. Unless they do something, like, really bad on front of the camera, and I kind of, like I can't hardly watch their movies no more. And there's one person I got his movies, but I just can't watch his movies like I used to because he kind of messed up his image. As far as Nev Campbell and stuff I heard that she might have done or whatever, I don't know what somebody said I don't know what's going on because you know how social media is. I try to leave social media alone, but I'm looking forward to Scream 7. Definitely looking forward to The Conjuring in September. And this Friday, and I'm definitely going to buy that Final Destination 6. But I got all the Final Destination box set. But these two movies are the ones I like to see get revived. But I would want a strong script, a super strong script. I'm talking like something just like when we go to theater, we are blown away, because I just feel like I just feel like the horror department is just it's just I'll go to the theater and catch a horror movie. Like I'll go back and I'll watch I love Scream. I was jacked up for I was jacked up for this Final Destination 6. And I just was like, man, I just wish that I could, I was just thinking about Friday the 13th and Friday 13th and what else was I thinking about? Because I got some stuff on the screen. I was just thinking about Friday the 13th and The Conjuring universe, Scream, Friday the Scream 7's coming out next year, I believe. And Nev Campbell's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. I just think there's a lot of us out there that's like Scream. But I this is not going to be a long video. I just was thinking about, just I was thinking about Friday 13th, and I was thinking about, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was just thinking, man, I'd love to see them make a comeback, but because Halloween already did its run, and I think they need to put that to rest. I think it's been a few years now since we had a Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, but I don't know what you could possibly do with that. But the Conjuring universe, that's basically a new franchise, and they're just killing it. Scream, they always do good. Final Destination always does good. Final Destination, the last one that came out was 2000. Last one was 2011. This is 2025. So, I would think that some of us would be jacked up if the trailer was played right for Friday 13th, and if the trailer was played right for Nightmare on Elm Street. But it has to be somebody that has a whole new vision, something that's gonna blow us out of the water. And anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I would just like to see them make a comeback, because I was jacked up for this Final Destination, and like I said, man, I was going to do a rankings of Final Destination, but I happened Nobody really watches this channel that much, which is fine. But yeah, I'm just doing this because it's just, I getting comfortable with this camera, so now I can just sit back and chill out. But like I said, the first Final Destination is my favorite. Final Destination 6 is my second favorite. But it could almost be one. But that Final Destination 2, that thing was just clicking. That thing clicked. That highway scene, that accident on that highway, and that log that fell off that truck and went through that car. Ever since then, even my kids, as young as they are, they said, "Man, Dad, every time I seen that, I get behind a truck that's got stuff carrying, I get around the same here." Even the truck that's got the cars, it's got the cars on there, and they're just moving while he's driving. I go around it. After seeing Final Destination, definitely ain't behind no truck that's carrying steel beams or logs. I don't even get away from when they're carrying a big earth mover. That thing fall off that earth mover land, you just boom. So it freaked me out, man, when I watched Final Destination 2, because that log scene. But like I said, it was Final Destination, the first one. Final Destination 6 would be my second, boy. And I really love this last one. And Final Destination 2. I could easily put Final Destination 2 first, but when I first seen Final Destination, I remember myself being 36 or 37, and I remember watching that trailer, and I kept looking. I said, "Man, that looks good." And I never went to the movie theater to it because I was so trying to get my life back on track. I mean, I was trying to get myself back on track, man. I thank God where I'm at, man. Ain't a day goes by, but I never went to theater to see it. But I made up for all not going to the theater, because later on, as I started getting settled in, I started getting my boys every other weekend. That was our favorite thing to do, was to go see movies and stuff. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that video. I'd just like to see maybe them come back and make another somebody try to do this one. It's been a while since we had another Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street. But this is an awesome box set, man. Yeah, just that's why I like collecting physical copies. But I also would like, I love for them to come out back with this one. That's why I will not get a Friday 13th 4K set. I don't care how pretty it is. I just won't, because I'm just not into that, trying to double buy. And I know one day they're gonna come out with a beautiful Friday the 13th, beautiful box set, and I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna be like, but I just can't see spend that kind of money, because I really love this box set. I know a lot of YouTubers have this in the background, so I'm not the only one that ever bought it. So it's kind of weird, man. When I started this channel, I didn't realize, I should have realized, but I didn't realize, how many people was on YouTube. There's a ton of people. Even when I come up with an idea, I think, oh man, I'm gonna upload video, and then I look and somebody else already thought about it, because everybody else is brainstorming how to, get something on the channel to where it's interesting and stuff. So my daughter's like, "Dad, I wouldn't worry about that. You told me when you started." She said, "Dad, I wouldn't worry about that. You told me when you started YouTube channel, you was doing it for fun." And I did. So, it's like, damn. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have never done a YouTube channel, because I just feel like we're scarfing for the same viewers. Even though people have 1.5 million, 200,000, 300,000, 100,000. I feel like those people that are on that subscription are on your subscription, and you're trying to get them. People are allowed to have different type of subscribers on different channels, but I feel like we're scarfing for people to watch our stuff, and it bothers me. I'm just not into that. I'm just like, I like when I get engagement, or people, like or something. I don't get that many likes, but that's not what I'm talking about here. It's that if I had to do it all over again, I would just stuck with walkthroughs, and that's all I use YouTube for, was I walk, I get stuck on video games, I do a walkthrough. Or if I go to work, I tell somebody I got something wrong with my computer, or I don't have a computer anymore, but something wrong with my phone or my laptop or something. So, man, get on YouTube, put in what you think. He said there'll be all kinds of stuff pop up. Sure enough, boom. So if I had done it all over again, I would have just kept YouTube for that and just watched everybody else's stuff. But anymore, when a movie comes out, I don't really look at the reviews until after I watch a movie. Because if I look at a review early, because a lot of these people now, they're so big, they get the early showing. And, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You got the early showing. But I really don't want to know about it until after I watch it. Or, maybe you upload it on a Saturday because it came out on a Thursday. But movies come out on Thursday, so you're bound to. No, I got a job, so I can't do that. But anyway, in closing, I love to see somebody make a, go at this, or, go at this. It would be nice. I don't know if they can or not. Just horror, could be, horror's made, it's not very expensive to make a horror movie to me. But, I have the Saw, that last Saw movie. I really enjoyed that. So I bought that on 4K. But, Saw has been pretty good on keeping up. People seem to constantly want to, watch that stuff. So I'm just, Smile too, I just, I just think that there's so much room for, especially if you write a good story. Insidious had what? Insidious had four movies. I think Insidious is about done. I think they played out. But the Red Door was the last one I went to the theater to go see it. I thought it was pretty good. But Halloween, now you're gonna have to give that a rest. I think that's a done deal. But Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. But it has to be somebody that's gonna blow our mind. Somebody that has like a, come up with a thing and try to sell it, and then have studio look and go, holy crap, this is a good, I like this script, and then they might give them the money. But at the same time, keep that budget low, because horror movies are pretty much cheap to make. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. But like I said, Final Destination is my favorite. Final Destination 2 was my second favorite, but now Final Destination 6 is my third. Final Destination, the one that had the roller coaster, that was pretty, like, dang, man. The one with the roller coaster, I think that was Final Destination 3, or was it? That might have been 3. And then 4 and 5. But I think I would put, it's Final Destination, then Final Destination 6, then Final Destination 2. Then I would do the one that has the roller coaster accident in it. Yeah. And then there's the one where it had the car accident, where it was at the Motor Speedway. It's a NASCAR race. That was pretty crazy. The other one I don't remember too well. I know there was one where they was yeah. But anyway, that was my rankings for that. I'm just telling you. But Final Destination one, I just fell in love with it. I just remember I first seen it. I was like, wow, this is a brilliant idea. Yeah, real quick story. So when I left the theater yesterday, and I was watching Final Destination 6, right? So the wind was blowing, right? And I always park my car away from everybody because my truck, I sunk a couple $1,000s in it, so I'm trying to get it fixed back up, and it's looking pretty good. So I parked away, but I always park away, and I park in front of the light pole. So I'm coming out of the theater, and I'm like, man, that movie's good, man, and stuff. And then I walk out, the wind's blowing. I heard the sound, and the light pole, I'm at the theater now. The light pole's way up. My truck's sitting right there. And you hear these light poles moving. And, so you're sitting there thinking about all these weird things that happen when people die on Final Destination. I said, man, I get in that truck and that wind snapped that thing and boom! Me in the car, but I just kind of laughed to myself and walked to my truck. But I was like, that's what the Final Destinations do to you, man. All those freak accidents and stuff. It's just kind of funny. I just thought I'd share that with you. But anyway, you guys, it's just something I wanted to share with y'all. So God bless and have a safe week out there and be nice to each other. We'll see ya.